story time on how I became a merchant mariner. So I'm gonna go back to like 2013. My niece's dad was doing this job, and I just happened to grow more and more curious to what it was that he did. I didn't even understand what it was. But because of his personality, very dry, I didn't get much out of him other than, oh, we do this and we do that, and we go here and we go there, and I leave for this much and then I come back for this long. It was so dry. It was honestly so dry that I was so discouraged I didn't even want to do it. It didn't sound exciting. Honestly, this is pure honesty. Move forward. He came back home, and again I was curious and curious. He was like, hey, if you're really curious, you need to become a United States citizen because you need to be a citizen. I'm like, I didn't know that. I had a permanent resident. I thought that was good enough. No, you need to you need to be a United States citizen. I'm like, great. He said, if you're serious, I will pay for your citizenship, and then you go and get your credentials. I'm like, heck yeah. So I was dead serious, and I did all the proper steps to becoming a citizen, and sure enough, he did end up paying for my citizenship. Once I received my citizenship, it was game on. From that point on, I started to get my credentials, just like I be advertising to you all. You need a TWIC card. So I started off with a TWIC card. Then you need to get an MMC. So I got my MMC, and then I needed to get my passport, which I was so excited because it went from a red Italian passport to a blue United States passport. It's like the golden ticket that everybody looks forward to. So yeah. So that was that. I became a citizen, and then eventually I started to get my credentials, and it wasn't until after I applied. It took MSC 11 months to give me a call back. Even up at that point, I still had no clue, like real clue on what merchant mariners did. I thought it was just like you're working for like the military. You were in the military. I just didn't understand the whole concept, which later on I learned that you're not in the military. You are not active. You are a civilian working for the military. And then I learned the ins and outs. And of course, as time went on, the whole reasoning to why I even started this content for you all was because of the fears that I had about this job. I feel like that also held me back from starting earlier. Because even after I got my citizenship, I'm not going to lie to you, I didn't right away jump into it. I still had questions. I still was unsure. It was just, honestly, the unknown. We allow the unknown to freak us out in the most negative way possible. And I've said this to some of you all here on TikTok before, and I'm going to state it here now. Moving on with life, with anything you do, if it doesn't scare you, it will never motivate you. And that is a quote I saw one day when I was going back and forth with I wanted to do this job. And once I read it, it resonated with me so much with how I felt about this new journey. And I said, screw it. What's the worst that can happen? I don't like it. Cool, quit. I was like, okay. I convinced myself, and ever since I went full throttle. So piggyback on what I was saying about creating this content that I have, this page that I have for you all, I wanted to make sure that if I could help at least even one person to not feeling how I felt based on the unknown, that I felt like I was succeeding in doing just that. And lo and behold, I didn't know that it was going to spread like wildfires like it did. And I have so many of you saying how much you are very grateful and how informative these videos are. And I'm so happy to hear that. And anytime that I have an opportunity to answer another question in a video, I'm all for it. So just like today, I decided I just needed some, me time. So I'm in my car. I drove to see my dad. He's the second one. And I was here hanging out with him. I said, you know what? let me share my story. I feel like I want to share my story on how I got started. So, with that being said, that's how it all started. I didn't know anything about it. And I honestly believe that if it wasn't for him, till this day, I've never ran into anyone who did this. So I don't think I would have figured it out, honestly, because the people who I talk about being a merchant mariner with is with merchant mariners. Until I decided to do this, and now I'm talking to you all about it, and it's obviously giving you some insight I didn't have. So I'm so happy to hear that the work and the hours and the amount of time and years, because to be completely honest, I started doing videos on this back in 2021, but it didn't get the attention until the beginning of January 2024. That's when it really like boom. And here we are a year later, and I haven't stopped. I went full throttle for a whole year for you all. So yeah, you got this. We got this. And if you have further questions that I've yet to answer, just send a message or leave a comment or whatever it is that's easy for you. Ciao.